Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't we have a surprise for you today? Apologies, this is War Thunder. But, it looked so much better without the cracked screen. I figured I'd had to do a new Adventures in Premium episode. I would like to announce, while we're loading in here, that when this video goes up, I will be live on Twitch, grinding to the max level in War Thunder. So, today, we have the Martin Baker MB5, or just Martin Baker MB5. A lot of people say MB5 because it's literally just his designation. I kind of was repetitive back there. Long story short, MB stands for Martin Baker, so it's the Martin Baker .5. So just MB5 is shorthand enough. It's got great low-level performance, straight line speed. Yeah. Welcome to say hello to PC Wolf. He'll be joining me for a couple other videos and streams. And he definitely will be a recurring sight on the channel. So, a couple of quirky things about the MB5. First off, it's actually kind of rare. You barely ever see these. Even if people do have them, they just don't fly them often. Which I'll admit, I'm kind of guilty of. I did fly this thing almost non-stop for nearly a month once I got it. But after that, I just sort of stopped flying as much until recently. And I do have to say, it is fun in the right type of match scenarios. This thing is very fun. It excels at boom and zoom tactics, although it hates climbing. You really can't do aggressive climbs in this thing like other prop fighters, because this one's just so heavy, and it's actually quite large, believe it or not. This thing looks like it's about the size of your average fighter plane. This thing's big. If it was up by that P-51 back there that Wolf's flying, it would be nearly twice the size, which is shocking. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's so heavy. This thing is kind of like a British P-47. If the P-47 had an inline with a contra rotating prop. So, due to its hatred towards climbing at aggressive angles for long, you will find, unfortunately, that half the start of the match is spent with you climbing out. But once you're up there, you can usually maintain a surprisingly high speed. This thing, level flight at your average climb out altitude, maintains about 340 up to 370 miles an hour without WEP, which is very good, even though it has a stated top speed of, 480? No, 460 miles an hour. That's more of a sea level figure, or at its max, or at the stated altitude on screen. It'll really only do those speeds there. Oh yeah, this thing is kind of like a Doe 335 in that sense. You'll find this thing comes equipped with 4 20mm Mark II Hispano cannons, which, if anybody has flown the British tech tree longer than 3.0, will know that those are very nice cannons. They really do come into their prime at the 4.0 or higher range, especially with the Griffin Spitz. The 20mm are fantastic. Now, as this is a 5.0 vehicle, it does get subject to being completely outclassed when it's up tiered. If this thing sees a 6.0 match, just resign yourself to death. That's the best I can tell you. Unless you're really good or just know the aircraft well, you're probably going to die with nothing. I mean, I die with nothing most matches in this thing, even though I like to fly it. That's not the point. This thing has a very nice cockpit. It was built in 1946 as a prototype for high-speed prop flight, but only one example was made in real life due to the British air industry deeming it a unnecessary bill, as it were. They didn't need it. They had the Meteor starting to show up, and other companies with faster aircraft or more reliable aircraft. You see, this thing did have a Rolls-Royce Griffin engine, but the original intent was to have it above a certain horsepower rating that the engine just wasn't capable of running at the time, and the necessary development would have cost too much and made the project overrun the budget, even more than it already had from the original statements. This thing features a contra rotating prop system, as I mentioned earlier, but that comes in handy. You see, that's one of the only reasons this thing has a climb rate in the first place. Another thing, that's the reason why it likes to cruise at high speed. If you level this thing off for a while, you'll find that without weaping at all, you'll get up to decent speed fairly quickly, which is nice. It's kind of like a P-47 or something American that way. It likes to cruise at a decent speed and maintain that speed for as long as the engine doesn't want to burn itself up. Now, I don't know what they did with the cooling of this thing. It has that sort of bottom or underwing duct like a Mustang does for cooling, but the oil still likes to get hot, and actually the water usually overheats if you don't pay attention, which leads to the engine starting to hurt itself later in the match if you've not been careful with it or have been wepping constantly, which you usually do on a climb out. So don't expect it to last long towards the end of a match if you've been wepping a lot, or if it's just not had a lot of time to cool down between high-speed combat. Now, due to this thing's size and the fact that the 20 millimeters are placed so far apart, this does make it a bit difficult to hit things if you're going in quite fast or at an awkward angle. The 20 mils don't usually like to hit things the way you think they do, and you may see that as a recurring problem during this match, but don't worry about it. I'll probably die before I get the chance to shoot at something anyway. But you know what? Let's go for this dot in front of me, as I am very sure they're unaware of our existence. Whatever that is in front. Whatever it is, it's diving and it's fast. Because as you can see, we're doing 434 miles per hour. Oh, that's twin engine. Very nice. Did it just die? It did, didn't it? It just died. But yeah, this thing will hit about 532 miles an hour before it decides to just completely stop flying. By that I mean the lockup is ridiculous. This thing actually does pretty okay with lockup for the most part until you reach about that speed. Then it just like comes in completely unflyable conditions. Hates to pull up. And as you can see, I've got a problem here, and I'm probably going to die before I could shoot at something, like I said. Yes, I see this, Wolf, but that's not my current dilemma. My current dilemma is the Focke-Wulf 190D on my tail, which will maintain speed with me. You see I'm at a 5.7 rating right now, apparently, which means that I did get up-tiered. So let's shoot this Ju-288 down before I die. Yeah, as you can tell, That's about all I can do this match. Because of the up tier and the fact that the Focke-Wulf just follows me so well. Because, you know, of course, me moving at 470 miles an hour, they can just pull out of wherever they want. Because they're so much better than me. Despite my 1800 horsepower and twin prop and excellent straight line speed, they can just catch me whenever the F they want, including the Japanese things, which I do not agree with. Their ability to pull energy out of their you-know-where. Actually, I do quite genuinely hate that. If you're in anything American at 4.0 or even just a little bit higher, it doesn't matter. If you're fighting Japanese, keep altitude on them. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter how long you dive. You can dive out of 20,000 feet or more. Reach a speed that you know for a fact the Japanese thing should have ripped at, only to look behind you and find it catching you. Not like slowly falling behind but maintaining speed. Catching you, despite them being far lighter, which means less inertia. The Japanese things weigh so much less, and yet can dive with or outdive you. It's bullcrap. They have no weight for that kind of gravitational inertia to take over. I wouldn't question it, Wolf. But yeah, just don't fight Japanese things. They've been stupidly broken like the Russian aircraft ever since a couple updates back. Actually, I think before they even introduced supersonic stuff, the Japanese things just went wild for no reason. Okay, Wolf, I get it. Alright. Well, that's all I got on this marvelous aircraft. If I was a better pilot, I probably would have gotten a few more kills, or I could have fought my way out of whatever that situation was, but unfortunately, I'm just not that good, and this thing struggles. It genuinely hates me. Which sucks, because I love it so much. I like these, well, not little, I like these kind of oddball aircraft hardly anybody knows about. It's special. Really is special. So, anyway, as I said before, at the upload of this video, I will be live on Twitch. Be sure to check that out, as I will be finishing off to max level in War Thunder, and you may just get a glimpse or two of some of the stuff that's to come. It's been Ace. Bye.